Well, hey there. Good morning. Welcome to the Jim of All Trades channel. Glad you're with me. This is Jim, and we're looking at Bitcoin and Litecoin this morning, getting a market update, seeing what the market's doing, and we just want to share the daily Elliott Wave roadmap with you today. So stick around. We've got lots of information to talk about. All right, before I get started, don't forget I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I do like to help you learn how to trade, however, and I offer trade suggestions as well as just how to keep your psychology straight through these videos as well, and just show you through an Elliott Wave perspective what are the potential movements that Litecoin and Bitcoin are going to be making over today and tomorrow. That's what you get on this channel. You get long-term and short-term analysis. The short-term analysis really helps you make day-to-day decisions with your trades. So hope it helps you and gives you the information that you need to make better decisions with your money. All right, glad you're with me. Let's get started. So we're looking at Litecoin right now. My current hypothesis is that we've finished a fifth wave here and that we're heading down for a steeper correction. My first target here is about $100. That's my first. That's what I'm thinking. I've drawn a new trend line here that I just want you to pay attention to. It touches this point as well as this point. Then we skip a couple of points here, but it comes back right here, and you can kind of see how price is kind of riding that trend line right now. I think it's significant and that you should draw it on your chart if you've got one, and watch price to see what happens. See what happens if we break that trend line. Chances are, if we open and close below that trend line, we're going to be heading down here to the $100 mark. So be watching that trend line. It'll be an important one to be watching. Okay, if you then I've drawn another trend line here. You can see this top trend line right here as well. It has three touches as well, and you can see how we've experienced resistance every time we've come up to it off of these 2 points here. And so if we break this trend line as well, we want to keep watching. We want to find out if price continues to ride this trend line. Let's see. Let me get the paintbrush here and. Yeah, so if price continues to, if it breaks out there and continues to try ride, or will it continue? Will it go up to the upside like that? That's a possibility. I want you to know that and be aware of that. But it's also a possibility for this thing to bounce a little bit and then head on down this way. Okay, so we're looking at both scenarios. Yeah, so it could go up, it could go down. So which one do we think is more likely than the other? Well, right now, let's talk again about what we know. I know that this is an ABC. It's an expanded flat. It measures correctively. This measures three waves for a B. This measures correctively for an A, and this one, however, measures a little bit more motive-like, if I remember right. Let me forgotten my measurements here. Let me measure it again. Yeah. I mean, it comes to the 1618 and bounces. It just wicks to it. So really, the candles here are around 1276. So that's corrective as well. So all that's looking corrective. Now, there are two options then that could be in play then. This is an ABC. It is complete. Then we have a 1, 2, and we're heading up, making the third wave higher. Okay? Now, when we're talking Elliott waves, your third wave, okay, you got a 1, you got a 2, right? And then you got a 3 that's really volatile, okay, and it heads up pretty fast. Well, the problem with what I'm seeing here, that 2 shouldn't look like that. There we go. The 2 can't retrace below the 1. Um, the problem I'm seeing here is that all this right here is just sideways up and down action. It is not very motive like. Now the market makers may be stalling and we're going to just hit a huge candle. Now that's a possibility I want you to be aware of. Now we just may hit a huge candle. I mean, boom, and it just goes. I don't think it's going to go for $30 like I've drawn there, or $40, but we might get a huge move to the upside. If that's the case, great, fantastic. Find a place to jump in and jump in. But until you break this high up here, you have no. And I've drawn this yellow line of death. Until you break this high, you have no guarantee of such a thing. And I know that's a long way away, but you have to and so any trade between here and there is risky. It is certainly, all trading is always risky, and I want you to be aware of that. So yeah, this isn't looking three wave-ish. So that's something I'm noting here in my list of things that I'm thinking about is what might be happening here. Again, I know I have an ABC. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it doesn't appear so. So what are the other options? Well, the other option is that this is a WXY correction. It's a double correction. So that means we've got a W. Yeah, let me see if I can get the WXY activated. There we go. W, that's a W wave, that's an ABC, okay, followed by an X wave, okay, followed by a Y wave. Okay, now notice that Y wave is often a one-to-one retracement of the X wave. I mean, excuse me, of the W wave. So that means W wave and the Y wave are about the same size usually. We may be getting such a thing now. Now, that doesn't mean we can't push up higher for this. In fact, we can go all the way up to this yellow line. We can go all the way up to this yellow line for this count, for this X wave to be an X wave. And then we get the Y. So know that and understand that. We can go all the way up to the top here for that X wave. Now, is the shape supporting that? I don't know. I don't think so. But you know, this shape right here is really hard to tell. It's hard to understand. It's hard to really interpret. So be careful around there. But anyway, that's the other hypothesis, that we have an X wave and we're coming down for Y. What else could be happening? Well, let's see here. With that, actually, let me keep that WXY. I'm just going to take take that off. Let's zoom into the 1 hour chart here. There we go. So if this X wave is complete, we should have 5 waves, then we followed by 3 waves, and then we're going to have 5 waves to the downside. Is that what we have? It's certainly possible. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. So this looks very 5 wave-ish to the downside. So that's 5 waves. Whatever you say, that's 5 waves. Okay. Then we have 3 waves right here. So if we measure this, the only problem with that 3 waves is just a little short and truncated. It doesn't make up to the one-to-one retracement. There was a bit of a front run on the one-to-one, or it was more than a front run, to be honest with you. It was quite short. It came up to the 786, extension. But it did come to the retracement. It did come to the 50%, I believe. It looks like it. Let's take a peek here. I mean, it actually wicked to the 618 to 65% in the golden zone there. So that is a pretty decent correction. Well, excuse me. The wrong buttons sometime. That is a pretty decent correction. So that could be a 1 followed by a 2, or an A followed by a B. I would expect, though, that this B to be a little higher. So if this is an A, this B might come on up here as well. So yeah, this Y wave needs to be an ABC. Let me start there. And sometimes I get so jumbled and I forget a lot of you don't know Elliott wave, and I don't want to jump too fast here. This X wave needs to be 3 waves. Looks like we've got it. This looks like 5 waves down. That means we need 3 waves up. So here's the question: is that my 3 waves, and then we're going down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more waves for C? So that would look something like this. Our Y wave would be an A. I'm trying to activate my ABC. There we go. Our Y wave would be an A, a B, and a C. Okay, is that what it's looking like? That's a possibility. But what else could it be? Well, this B wave could be a longer, more extended 3 wave. So that B wave could be, 3 waves like this. A, B, C, like that. And so that's what we have to be watching. Is that what we're getting right here? And so I'm not sure, but I'm pretty certain that this is a WXY. I'm pretty certain our X is in. It came pretty deep. It came to let's see, of this W wave, the retracement. X usually comes to at least 61% or more. I'm really trying, but computer just does not like me today. It never likes me. All right, there we go. So yeah, this came up past the golden zone to the 0.786 retracement. So that's a pretty deep retracement. So to me, that X wave is complete. I've done it again. Um, so yeah, this looks like an A wave to the downside followed by a B, and that could be three waves. So we could have some more upside here, or that three waves is done, and this B is finished here. And then what would you have if that's the case? Well, if that's the case, then you've got. Let me just draw it with a paintbrush here. Let me get rid of this guy. If that's the case, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming down like that. And so an ABC should be 5 waves followed by 3 waves followed by 5 waves. Generally, that would be a 5-3-5 ABC. You can get a 3-3-5 ABC as well. So those are two different styles of ABCs. So yeah, those are the two potentials. Let me draw the other potential in a different color. So get my paintbrush. Where am I? There we go. Let's draw the upside in green since we've been making money to the upside. So we could be looking for a B wave, something like this. And if that's the case, then after that B wave, we'd be getting the 5 waves to the downside, like so. So that's what we're looking at in Litecoin right now. That's if this is a WXY. Now, finally, what if this is not a WXY, but rather this was a 1 wave followed by a 2 wave? I don't think it was, but if it is, let's talk about that potential. Then we would be talking about. Let's use blue. We're talking about 1, 2, and then 3 would be way up here, 4, and then 5 would continue. So yeah, that's what we'd be looking at, and then that means this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the 3 wave. So yeah, I know that's a lot of crap on the chart, but you get the idea. Okay. All right. Let's clear out of the way some of the drawings here. All right. So yeah, that's what we're looking at in Litecoin. Those are the potentials. I hope that helps you think about what's happening. Let's zoom in right here, see if there's any information there that'll help us out with what's more likely of those scenarios to happen. All right, we're on the 15-minute chart now, and let's see if there's any evidence that's going to help us. Let's measure this last move here and see what we see here. This was the first wave extension there. We've come to the 1276 and we've been chopping around on it. So the question is, if it bounces off this 1276 and goes higher, this was corrective. If that's the case, let's measure. This to that right there. Actually, let's not measure that. Let's measure this A, B right there. Let's get the extension there. If that's the case and we go up higher from here, you are looking at a target of potentially 132 to 137. Those are the 1-to-1 extension and the 1276. Obviously, we could wick higher than that, but if we go higher than this X wave, then this isn't an X wave, it's something else. Okay. Actually, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Sorry, I got confused for a second. Apologize. If this goes higher up here, then this X wave is going to move over to here, and this will be finishing up the X wave. Okay, that's if this is 3 waves. So this needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, that's potential. Actually, yeah. This could be a 1 and a 2. So if it's a 1 and 2, look for these retracements. If it's an X wave, we'll look for higher. I know there's a lot of options, but those are the options for Elliott wave right now. I can't predict the future. I can only tell you what are the potentials for the future. And once we have more information, I can give you higher probabilities. Okay. Now this came down for 3 waves. We got 1. We got an ABC here. You notice that this wave right here. Let's measure this guy. Um, it came to the 1276 and it rejected off of that. So yeah, everything's measuring to the 1276. It's measuring super corrective. That tells me we're in a correction. That means we're going to the downside. Even if we have upside to come, we're going to be going to the more to the downside. And so I'm still looking for that $100 target. Whether we hit this trade between here and there, if there is such a trade, I cannot tell you. And so I haven't been trading the past several days. I haven't been trading any of this at all. There've been some trades, but man, to me, it's all too risky. It's too, you can't tell what's going on. So I've been waiting and patiently. So yeah, if we break now, I've got this trend line here. If we break this trend line and retest it and come on up, then I'll be comfortable with the trade to the upside. So that's what I'm going to be watching for a comfortable trade to the upside. And it won't be long and it won't be forever. Keep that in mind if we've got those targets that I mentioned earlier. Okay, rewind the video if you can't remember where they are. I'm not going to rehash them now. All right, let's go to BTC and see what we can see there. You can see also that we've got we had a rejection here as well. Let's see where we got the rejection. Let's go to the 1 hour so we can compress everything here. You can see I've drawn my what are these called? Fib extensions here. This wave is really hard to count, but this looks like a one. See, this should be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this wick down here kind of negates that as a 1, 2. So this is a really hard wave to count. But then we have an extension. We come up here to the 786. This is a good potential ABC, but for me it looks like it needs to come up one more leg up here to finish that ABC correction. So it's a potential that it might come up here to the 13,000 mark, which I mentioned yesterday, 13,100 to 13,800. So those are potentials. Excuse me. Now let's measure this last move here. Actually, let's measure this move right there. What you can see here is that we have gone past the 1618, so it's indicative of 5 waves potentially. So we have a 1, 2, that was a 3 wave. We're coming down for 4, and we're going to go up for a 5th wave, and that should finish that ABC. That's what I'm thinking, guys. That is my bias right now. It's looking really good for that. Let's measure that 4th wave. This is the 3rd wave. So to project that 4th, where that 4th should come, we're going to measure the 3rd wave. I'm trying. There it is. And generally that 4 wave will come down to the 382. We came down to the 382 and tagged it. We could come on down to the 50%, so there still could be some downside left. But we also do have this measurement. Let's measure this, but I think I measured it earlier, and we came down to the 1276 extension. That's indicative of a finished correction. Don't forget, though, there's other possibilities. Let me show you. This was an ABC, came to the 1276 and rejected. This looks like a decent entry place for to ride this wave higher. If there might be a deeper pullback, that would be great. Let's go down to the 5-minute chart and see what this wave is really looking like here. Maybe the 3-minute chart. No real clues there. It looks very corrective to me. So a potential, and I want you to be aware of a potential as well, is that this was an ABC, and this is also an ABC. We're going to have another ABC coming down to finish that 4th wave. So that is another potential as well. So be mindful of that probability. Okay, that is. Let me just zoom out here and show you the big picture of Bitcoin. This is actually an old count. This is an old chart. Sorry, this chart is not what I want. Let me clear. Let me remove all the drawing tools here. There we go. Our major count right now for Bitcoin is looking like this was a 1, 2. I think that was 3, 4, and we've finished 5. That's what I believe has happened. We're coming down for an A, B, and a C. So it looks like we've got one more push to the upside, probably, and then this is going to be a WXY as well. We'd have a 3-wave down, W, 3-wave up, and then we're going to have a 3-wave down. Where's that putting us for a target? Let's see. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Where's that putting us for a target? W, measure the X. X, let's say X comes up here. Looking at a potential 8,900 to 7,700 in this ballpark. So let me just draw a square around this area as a target. There's our target zone right there for our WXY. Okay, that's what we're looking at, guys. There's our market update for this Tuesday morning. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share the content. Let me know how you love the channel if you do. Share some love, and you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks for stopping by.